Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 90 of the GVGCast, where we hang out, chat with you all, and see what's been happening over the past week. I'm your host this time, Derek Bitner, and I'm joined by my good friends Daniel Alba and Ash Paulson. How are you two doing this evening?
Doing good.
I'm fried, man. As I was telling you shortly before we started, I obviously was at MagFest last week, had a great time. MagFest is always the best time ever. However, unfortunately, on Saturday night late, my wife just she stumbled on a bed corner, took a bad fall, and sprained her knee. Which, and as we all know, knee sprains are not fun. And so she needs help getting around and everything. So I've been getting very little sleep because I've just been, really taking care of her, tending to her ever since we got home. And so that's actually why you're hosting today, and I appreciate you for doing that, man, because I told you, I was like, dude, I've gotten no more than like 1 to 2 hours of sleep at a time for like 5 days now, and I'm so tired.
I gotta say, it feels like MagFest kicked your ass.
So that's the other thing. So it wasn't just my wife. What's interesting about it is that she took like a slight innocent stumble, and sprained her whole knee. Whereas I was, unfortunately, on Thursday night, I was going downstairs to pick up a DoorDash for us, like 2 in the morning on Friday, and I was going down, about to go down an escalator, and somebody behind me, I'm thinking they were probably drunk or something. They made some motion and accidentally nudged me, and down I went the escalator shaft, and I tumbled the whole way. Thankfully, it was 2 in the morning, so there weren't too many people for me to break my fall around, because I didn't want to hurt anybody else, of course. But I look fine, and I've healed quickly. But if I were to take off my shirt on the show, which I will not, don't worry, I would never do that to you all, you would see that I have like gashes and bruising all over the right side of my body. But I didn't break anything. I didn't sprain anything. So I took the more dramatic fall. But I'm more or less fine, whereas my wife, just a slight little stumble, whole knee, and I feel so bad for her. She's been such a trooper, though.
Oh my God.
But MagFest is amazing. Don't let any of them from going. Join me next year, please, everybody. It's so fun. But that is also the reason I didn't get to do a community meetup on Sunday. I was going to do a GVG community meetup, and I was also going to host a panel with 112 on Mega Man Battle Network, and I had to pull out of both because I just had to get my wife home. So I had to miss the last day of Mag, unfortunately, this year.
I'm so sorry. Although I do imagine that it's just you like going down, you falling down the up escalator, so you're just constantly falling in a continuous loop.
That would be a lot worse than what actually happened. I'm honestly, looking back on it, as much as sore as I've been, I am honestly so lucky that I didn't like get a concussion or like break something. Like, I don't know how I didn't, but I am very thankful I didn't, so I, could take care of my wife, because she's just, poor things, going through it, but she's been such a trooper. And come to MagFest next year. It's so fun.
Yeah, it sounded pretty...
Okay.
It sounded pretty bad when you messaged us. I was like, Jesus, is he going like assault you or something? Or you just...
I know, I thought somebody like
it,
purposely
No.
it's Ash, I gotta take him down.
So the cadre of anti-GVG people out there roaming MagFest at 2 a.m. No. Nobody targeted me intentionally, I'm sure. I think it was just an innocent mistake. And thankfully, everybody, the Mag community is so nice. Everybody was like, are you okay? Do you need to go to medical? And I'm like, well, probably, but I have a DoorDash order waiting for me, so I really don't have time. And what's funny is our mutual good friend Ant Dude. I told him about it, and he was like, holy shit, dude. I'm so sorry. Does that mean you're just going to be, are you just going to lay up in bed tomorrow? And I'm like, dude, hell no. It's MagFest. Ain't nothing keeping me down unless I literally can't walk. I am going to be doing MagFest. So, I'm not going to be laid up in bed at Mag. Are you kidding me? No way, man. No way. Otherwise, fun. A lot of fun. A lot of fun.
Well, we're going to get into a bit more here, but first of all, we got to get our shout out our sponsor for the episode, and as has been the case for the past month, we are sponsored by the Couch Kids podcast, and as always, they whipped up a fun little ad to talk about what they do, and we're going to play right now and show it off. So definitely check them out.
Where is Andrew? We were supposed to be shooting the commercial today.
I don't know, man. He's probably playing Kingdom Hearts or something.
Hey guys, sorry I'm late. I was playing Kingdom Hearts.
Dude, Andrew, what are you wearing?
You told me to dress up.
Yeah, dress up like the thumbnails, dude. You know, blue shirt, green shirt.
Well, what am I supposed to do now? This is all day makeup.
Hey, fam. I'm Colton.
I'm Ari.
And I'm Count Andrew.
Andrew.
Sorry,
Come on,
just
man.
Andrew. I'm just regular Andrew.
And we are the Couch Kids.
Every week, you can typically expect a podcast, a reel, and an occasional Let's Play.
On the Couch Kids, we share a similar mantra to our friends at Good Vibes Gaming.
Don't be a grouch. There's always room on the couch.
Except kind of right now, because Andrew's fat taking up half the space.
What?
Yeah,
All right,
dude.
Are you kidding me?
Find us on social media at Couch Kids Podcast and catch on the couch.
Colton, he's biting me!
We don't need that intro again, but yes, check out the Couch Kids, Andrew, Ari, and Colton for their weekly goofs and gaffes as they shoot the biz and discuss all manners of things gamings. The Couch Kids podcast is available for free on all major podcast services, and they also publish excellent content over on their YouTube channel. So check them out at the following links. We'll have that in the description, and I'm sure Ash has already pinned it, knowing him. And you know, definitely. Right, please subscribe to their channel. So yeah. Sorry for the double intro. But yeah, thank you to them as always. And also, before we get back to our conversation, see what Daniel's been up to for the week. We have some birthday shout outs. One for Cutie Caitlin on the 8th, which was on the 18th. Kyle Gamer, which was on the 21st. Snoopy, which was on the 23rd. And Q Gabe, on the 24th. So a lot of birthdays this past week. Happy birthday to all of you. And
yes, happy birthday.
A special congratulations to our good friend T. Lopes, who, hey, you know who did the music for that intro that we had to play twice? Just had his, I believe, first son, correct? Noah.
So.
Yeah. So yeah. He's joined the Father Brigade, which I'm the only one on this podcast on this episode right now, but we're there.
We just need to. He's got to follow that up with a sister Mio, and they're all good.
I guess that's true. Yeah. I didn't think about that.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that's like the first thing I thought of because I'm such a nerd. I'm like, oh, Noah. Obviously, he's got to have a sister Mio. Come on.
I don't know if he's huge into Zeno at all, but yeah.
I don't know if he is or not, but yeah, congratulations, T. We're so happy for you, man, and we love you.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So yeah, Daniel, what have you been up to?
Well, I pretty much have been playing a few different games, trying to get ready for a different video that Brandon and I want to get onto doing very soon. So I played a little bit of Majora's Mask 3D on the 3DS specifically, and you know, some other ones like Nier Automata as well. Ooh. Just kind of dipping into that a little bit to try and get to a spot where I can get footage of something. I'm trying to figure out how we're going to do this because it's kind of a list of things, but Brandon and I have an idea how we're going to do it. So that'll be something y'all can see later, but it's been really weird to I think I've really only played Majora's Mask 3DS a couple of times. When I go back to it, I played the N64 one so much, you notice just a lot of little things that they changed in that game, just from the environment also, so that things are a bit easier and more accessible, to how much it's a little bit more like handholdy and tutorially in some parts, like Tata will tell you how to do this and that in certain places. Just a little thing that Grezzo did that I didn't really notice too much the first time around, but now I'm just like, oh yeah, they kind of just want to make it more accessible to people. I'm still waiting to see if we're going to get another version of this sometime. Who knows? It'd be nice. It's been a while. I will say Majora's Mask 3D is the only way I've ever played Majora's Mask, because years ago when I first tried to play it, I was just like, oh, I'll turn it on for a little bit, see the intro and get going. And then it was like, I got to get going and this moon's coming down and I'm stressed and I don't know what's going on. I just never went back to it. Just too much for me. And I gave up, but coming back with Majora's Mask 3D, it really did ease me into it enough that I felt confident, and honestly ended up, I think Majora's Mask is a top 5 Zelda game for me after playing that version. And I know some people really prefer the N64 version. My whole life is stressed in time limits, so doing this on the 3DS on a game like Majora's Mask is like nothing to me. So those kind of things, like when you're in the classic Metroidvania where you're in a time limit to reach the end and people stress out and panic, that's just like nothing to me at this point. Just like, all right. But yeah, that's I'm glad you played it in some form, but consider the N64 version sometime. That's
I mean,
people are
It has
still
a
very
different vibe.
divisive on which one's better.
I still have this. It's Patron exclusive now, and eventually coming to podcast. But it still have this little thing called Game Club, and Majora's Mask is on there. So eventually, I'll end up playing.
I'll be on that one, right?
I mean, I can't plan these things. Steve specifically told me on his episode that if I can manage it, try to get Phantasy Star 4 for when he's back, and literally the next episode was Phantasy Star 4. With him not on.
That's
So
a tragedy.
I
want to
can't
hear
make that up. That's amazing.
I want to hear Steve talk about Phantasy Star Online 4 or
well, we got
something like
two
that.
completely new people who've never played Phantasy Star 4 who loved it. So that worked out.
I would love the dichotomy of somebody who's really an expert in it and somebody who just doesn't know anything about it, like you mentioned. Like that kind of conversation is so interesting to me and something I would love to see more in Game Club. But I guess that's just the format.
It's hard to plan those things if you want to keep it random anyway.
Our good friend Lady Pelvic talked shit to me on Twitter recently about Mega Man, so I really want to get her and I back on an episode for the Mega Man The Wily Wars, just to force her to play it.
It'd be really funny, but considering how she struggled with Donkey Kong, I don't know about her and Mega Man.
I'd feel bad, but she did talk shit about Mega Man, so I wouldn't feel that bad.
You just got to get her to play some Battle Network, since that is an RPG.
That's true. That is, yeah. She may yet. It is an RPG, so she may actually do it.
Yeah, it could happen. It's funny. I have been playing Nier Automata as well on my personal streams, and I'm not going to keep it. I'm going to keep it as spoiler free as possible. I'm on the third playthrough, and have done a few switches. I'll just put it that way.
Okay.
And
wow,
did it take a did Yoko Taro do his thing with this playthrough? My God, that's all I'll say.
Yoko Taro
does
all
more
over
of
this
his
game.
things.
Yes, he did.
Just strap in, man. And speaking of strapping in, I guess I'll provide a quick update. I'm still working on SpiderMan 2, but I'm nearing the end. I'm at like 82% overall completion. I have like 4 or 5 main story missions left. And dude, the last third of that game ramps up in such an epic way.
Is it in the same way as the last third of the original Spider-Man? Because I remember getting to the last third of that game being like, oh my God.
It very much is. I would venture to say this might even be more epic, though. Like, I think the pacing in the story of Spider-Man 1 is better overall. I think the Spider-Man 2 starts a little bit slowly, but when you hit that last third, like, it's just high point after high point after epic moment after epic moment, and there's a lot of emotionality happening, too, and characters' relationships are really being tested, and there are a lot of just really emotionally powerfully charged boss fights, just one after another. There's a gauntlet in particular of 3 boss fights toward the end of the game that is just every single one is amazing. And oh man, I could go on. This game is so good, and I've been having a great time with it.
I'm glad you're having such a good time. I've been working on playing through a game for an upcoming video. It's a sequel to a video I made last year, but I was warned about it. And God, it is living up to its reputation. This thing has been kicking my butt this entire month. And I'm going to make a honest to God attempt to finish it tonight after the GVG cast, because I'm so close. But I'll just put it out there because I'm hoping to have the video out within the next week or two, since I still have to write it and all that. Frickin' Dragon Warrior 2, and I'm talking Dragon Warrior, not Dragon Quest 2. I'm playing the original NES version, and oh my God.
I've been hearing about how it's been for you, and yeah, I don't envy you.
So all I'll say is a game that was not properly play tested at all. They realized, and this will be more in the video, they realized they didn't play test it like a week before it was supposed to come out. And the entire final area is filled with enemies that can cast insta-death on you. Or they'll sacrifice themselves and kill all 3 of your characters. Or, best part of all, the final boss knows how to heal itself. That's not
Fun.
fun.
That's always that
You always
shouldn't
love
be
the final
legal.
boss is going to heal themselves, right?
Yeah, and it's a full heal
Yeah.
every time, don't you? Yeah, that's the best part.
Full heal.
Oh yeah. I mean, Dragon Quest doesn't have a ton of HP. Like its HP is only 250, but still, if you're full healing, it's something else. So I have a lot to say about this because it's not all doom and gloom, but man, it is something else. But yeah, so I'll be talking about that in the near future. So apologies, that's taken a bit. But it is hard.
Future.
Yeah, near future.
Nice.
But it is a hard game, so you got to cut me some slack. Otherwise, just been playing what I can, and there's not a whole lot else going on for me otherwise. But yeah, it's. I'm trying to think of anything else that's really been going on. Although I could talk about my unfortunate time with Twitter lately.
Oh,
I don't know if you saw.
right. So I caught it a little too late because, again, like I said, this past week, it's just been a blur of not sleeping very much and taking care of my wife. So she was actually the one who mentioned it to me. She's like, do you know what happened? Like, what's Tarek talking about? Like, is everything okay? I'm like, honestly, I did not see it until I went and looked, and it was after the fact.
I didn't mention it to you guys at all in the in our Discord because I didn't think it was that big of a deal because we've been pretty open about us being kind of anti-AI. We're writers. Daniel's an artist. Like, we're not exactly fans of the technology. And so I was going off the idea of the misinformed idea. I should really point that out on Pow World, and how I was under the impression that it used AI, which apparently they're open to using AI in the future, but there is no evidence whatsoever about it being in this game. And I was basically using it as a platform to say, hey, it stinks that this game is doing so well because it uses AI so much. And, being like, oh, man, it's so unfortunate that people would just like, yeah, I'm anti-AI and still play this game because it's just like, oh, really? But I was wrong. It is not AI based whatsoever. Although the company might flirt with it in the future for other games. And so I put it out there, but I also knew this is a tweet I don't even know why I did it, because I put it out there knowing it'd be just like filled with people being like, how dare you crap on AI? It has all these potentials and all this stuff. And it's just one of those things like, I should have known better. But I put it out there, got those initial few responses. I'm like, okay, muting it. Come back a day later, and I'm getting so many people like finding other ways to talk to me and mention these things. No. And I'm like, what the heck happened? What's going on with this? And I look at the thread and I see that it's just blown up so much more. And in my thought, it's still AI based, not besmirching Pow World. And so I doubled down. Right. I stupidly doubled down. I was like, I'm leaving the tweet up because I still stand by the AI thing, but I'm not going to correct myself. And no, what I did not realize, because I was away the entire time, is that no, they weren't upset about that. They were upset about the claim about it being using AI, specifically about Pow World. And so as soon as I realized that was the case, I'm like, okay, no, I gotta delete this and apologize. And as the live audience has mentioned, got freaking community noted. I got a community note. It is my biggest tweet ever, by far. I don't even know how much it got spread out there, but enough that I got a community note, which was like, oh my God.
That sucks that your biggest tweet ever is the one that got community noted.
I know. I didn't even like, I got people here out there claiming it's like, oh, you're just trying to get paid. I'm like, I don't have a blue check mark. I'm not trying to drum this stuff up. This is just an honest, stupid mistake. And it's just a wild circumstance of how that came along. Like, I had no idea that was going to be what ended up happening. But I apologized. I got rid of the tweet, and I can say that I was contacted by the community manager of Pow World, who yes, and they actually said, "Hey, don't worry about it. Apology accepted. We're cool." So
that's nice. Okay.
So I got you know, I basically the authority on Power World is okay with it, so I'm going to take that as a win.
I would, especially because the internet can be so ruthless
and I have
yeah.
no further opinions on Power World because I have not touched it. I will not say a word on that unless I play it. And it's considering it's a survival game. I have no plans to play it. I'm not a survival game guy.
Yeah, and it also, as Mackenzie Smith noted up in our YouTube chat a little bit ago, it feels too mean-spirited. Like, I'm sure it's a perfectly great game, but I agree, it feels a little bit mean-spirited, and I'm not interested in that in a game that's supposed to eschew Pokemon-like vibes, at least.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it's just not for me, I don't think. But yeah, it sure has. Wow, it's blown things up this week.
It's huge. It's
yeah.
Bigger than ever, but I just don't have any interest in it.
Yeah. No,
That's
I understand.
the insane thing with all of this is that, like, I think that whole situation just proves how people kind of misinterpret what exactly AI is, what it's capable of, and how you define it.
Yeah.
And the community is confused about it because, I mean, that whole thing happened, and like there's never going to be like a certain definition for what like AI could be defined as, because the world it's a really like tragically fascinating case that we're seeing unfold right now, because this is a game, the style, I mean, it's plagiarizing. You can see how it's like plagiarizing certain ideas, not just from Pokemon. It's plagiarizing a lot of games, actually. It's not just that. So it's really just dug itself into this situation where it's gotten so much attention so quickly that people are just grasping onto this idea that they kind of wish that they had with Pokemon, and they're enjoying. Like, some people, they don't care. Like these millions of people that are playing this game, they don't even care about the whole like, oh, this is plagiarism or whatever. They're just having fun with it.
Yeah, exactly. Most people are just disconnected. Here's this weird game that seems like Pokemon, but it's a survival, and it is. From everything I've heard, everybody's like been a naysayer that actually have tried it out, have genuinely enjoyed it. So they made a good game here. It's just the assets that are a little, it's a little unsure of. And I'm not going to claim plagiarism or anything like that. Let's just go with heavily inspired for now until anything of true clarity comes out.
Right.
Well, you can definitely see some heavy inspiration from exact model shapes that you've seen on some pals compared to Pokemon. But yeah, there's a structure of a game that can hold people's interest, and it's something that we wanted from something that, Pokemon has only very lightly touched on and very, very incrementally leans towards with every generation, like very slowly. And that's kind of the problem, is that there's been nothing to kind of compete with this idea. So Pokemon Company just kind of coasts along with very, like, they, as you can see in past, like, there's a lot of optimization that they don't go into because they kind of don't need to. This game will sell. Scarlet and Violet sold so much, despite you see so many people saying they're gonna boycott this sort of thing, and it doesn't work out, because then you get it's the next best selling Pokemon game ever. So I don't know, there's a whole discussion to be had with just this game itself, and I don't know,
it's fascinating too, because we had that tweet, and I think this might have been a thing that kind of also inspired it. I saw that tweet from the Dragon Quest Twitter account saying Dragon Quest monsters hit 1 million worldwide, which super impressive. Did not expect that game to do that well, to be honest. And just like I think it's best of the Dragon Quest monsters series. So that's great news. But then you look at Power World, they got accomplished that in 24 hours. I'm like, oh no.
It's crazy because like it's just the discussion on it. You say Pokemon with guns, and people are instantly like, "What is this about?" That's a hook that instantly gets people in there. And it's not like this is the first time we've seen monster taming in any games, even in series that we are familiar with, like not just Pokemon, but yeah, as you said, Dragon Quest monsters, Tales of Symphonia, Dawn of the New World has monster taming. Freaking Kingdom Hearts, Dream Drop Distance has monster taming when you think about it.
Final Fantasy 13 too. It's a common thing.
Yeah.
It's just that this one hit a boom, and it has that spark of discussion that is making people talk. And unfortunately, part of it is the immoral ways in which some parts of this game was made. But now the Pokemon Company has spoken out about it, and I'm just sitting back here and waiting to see how this unfolds, because this is a crazy month to start off games with in 2024.
Well, let's talk about some
Well-
other releases in that case, because
Yeah.
we got a triple whammy this week, because we
Yeah.
got the Apollo Justice trilogy, we got Like a Dragon: Infinite Wealth, and we got freaking Tekken 8. Like, wow!
What a week.
Yeah.
2024 already off to a bang. And then earlier, just a couple weeks ago, we got Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown. Like, already.
Yeah.
And another Code Recollection, actually. Like, there's so much already.
Yeah.
I so desperately want to get Like a Dragon: Infinite Wealth. I've been so excited for it because I liked Yakuza Like a Dragon so much, but I'm having to abstain for now because I know that I want to see it through, but I also know that I won't finish it before Rebirth hits. And once Rebirth hits, I'm too weak. Nothing else matters.
No,
I
that's
will
what
be
I'm saving up
dropping
for.
whenever I'm playing
I'm
Rebirth.
waiting.
Yeah. So I just have to. I have to hope that maybe there's a window later in the year that I can play Infinite Wealth because I so badly want to, but Rebirth I don't want to drop it at the end or toward the end, and Rebirth just comes first.
I have a week to play everything that I need to, because after that week from now, I'm playing Persona 3 Reload, and I do want to do I'll do a stream where I react to maybe the first few hours on our Twitch channel, and then I'll probably cut that down and put a video on that on this channel right here, probably the day or two after, because I'm ready. I'm tired of seeing 20 trailers and all the interviews. Like, just give me the game now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
There have
ready.
been so many trailers for it too.
They don't stop. They're
Yeah.
like every
They're
4 moon we'll show
advertising the heck
something,
out of this. They're basically treating it like a new game.
Right.
Yeah, it's gonna be a lot of people's first time playing Persona or Persona 3.
Did Daniel?
I
drop out?
blipped out for a moment.
Oh.
Yeah,
but it's not
okay.
gonna stop me.
You knew you blipped out a moment, so that's good to
Okay.
know.
You won't stop me
I
from-
definitely will be picking
you
up
go.
the Apollo Justice trilogy because my wife and I love playing through Ace Attorney games together, and we've never been able to play through 4, 5, and 6 together because they've all only been on handheld formats till now. So definitely going to be picking that up. I know we both want to get Tekken 8. It's just a matter of, like, she loves Tekken, and she's actually she beats my ass at it all the time. I'm better at Street Fighter. She beats me at Tekken, and I want to get it because we love the series and especially the music, but I just don't know that we have time to play it right now. But we'll pick it up down the line for sure.
For sure. And by that point, there will be that. And Harada actually commented on the fact that everybody wants Tifa as DLC.
Oh, he commented on that? I'm
Didn't
so
you-
glad he knows.
Oh, yeah. He's like,
You better be
he,
aware.
he basically just said, like, she's pretty and, great character design, but we're not focusing on guest characters quite yet. So basically a no comment, but he did
At least he
he
acknowledged
did
it, though.
acknowledge that everybody really wants
Ooh.
Tifa in Tekken 8, and I gotta say, I'm interested in Tekken 8. I've never played played a lot of Tekken before. That is an easy purchase because I'm already kind of interested in Tekken 8. But Tifa would definitely put it over the top.
Oh my god, she's
So
the
get more
guest
people
character
in.
I want more than anyone. Yeah.
So far,
Guest
I mean,
characters is
the only character that the only fighting game that has Tifa so far is Air Guys, which just puts it as the best fighting game right now.
God bless the ring. I'll never forget that weird ass game.
I got it because it had Cloud, Sephiroth, Tifa as
too.
playable characters, and the rest of the game was like, this is
Yeah.
weird.
You remember that weird ass adventure mode?
Yeah, I never understood it whatsoever.
Me neither. It was weird, but yeah, what a PS1 days Square, man. I loved how experimental they were.
Do you remember? I'm sure you remember the start screen sound. However,
totally.
Whenever you push start,
Absolutely.
everybody remembers the bouncer. For me, it's Air Guys. Is that weird game? I only rented the bouncer, but yeah.
Nice. I remember that voiceover too. Yeah.
Oh
man,
gosh.
these guest characters is how you get a wider audience into these series. That's how I got into Soul Calibur 2, and it's
Oh,
a
right.
shame that
Mm-hmm.
we didn't get Cloud in Soul Calibur 2 like they originally intended. That would have gotten
That would have
more
made
people
a
into
very
that.
interesting competition between Nintendo and PlayStation. I think people would have bought two
yeah.
copies for
Yeah.
each system.
Heck yeah.
Definitely.
Well, we do, before we get into the news topics, we did get some super chats, so let's go ahead and talk about those, especially because we fittingly enough, they're about Tekken. First up, Disney Duncan with 2 separate $5 super chats. Thank you so much, and very much connected. Tekken 8 is a blast. I like it more than Street Fighter 6 and Mortal Kombat 1. Reina is probably my main, which I have heard a lot. And Disney, and also saying, which character do we want as a guest character in Tekken 8? Well, Ash and I have already said Tifa. Daniel, are you in agreement, or you got another idea?
I could be in agreement. It would never happen, but I'd love to see Matthew from Xenoblade Chronicles 3 Future Redeemed.
Oh, that'd be fun. That'd be fun.
Fisticuff
That'd be
characters.
great.
That'd be cool.
There's a lot of Xenoblade characters that you can throw into different fighting games, and I'd love to see that happen. But, that's just my pie in the sky.
Yeah. Next up is Cam Alpha with $2. Thank you so much. Saying Metal Sonic versus Mecha Godzilla. Who would win? I mean, it has to be Mecha Godzilla. He's huge.
I would think so. Yeah.
I mean,
I don't know. I mean, obviously, Metal Sonic's faster, much faster, but I don't know if it matters.
Yeah, I mean, it needed both Godzilla and King Kong to take him down. Go ahead, Dan.
I feel like Metal
like a
Overlord
rendition
versus...
of watching Supersonic versus Perfect Chaos. Is that like the closest we have in similarity?
I guess so. People are mentioning Metal
like...
Overlord, but
yeah, that would be more interesting. Metal Overlord versus Mechagodzilla.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't remember Metal Overlord too much, to be honest. But either way,
he actually is really unsettling design. Actually, even now, like going back to look at it, it's kind of a scary design. Yeah.
Nice. Dion Hugh with $15. Thank you so much. Saying side order release date, Sparking Zero incoming trailer, hoping for release date. Who knows about that? New Peach trailer, Zelda Splatoon concert announcement, and Pokemon's coming on Power. Things to talk about. No kidding.
It's been a week.
So much.
Not much to say about side order, just because we only got a release date. There's some interesting things in there, but I'm waiting for more of a trailer because I feel like we're probably going to get more of that to come. Sparking Zero, Brandon of course is paying close attention. Same with me and Steve, so you can look forward to that. And hey, who doesn't love new outfits for Peach?
Ninja Peach, dude.
She's
so cool.
Yep.
Ninja Peach. It's all about Ninja Peach.
Gotta love it. Alan Wilkinson with a £5 donation. Thank you so much. Saying DK playable in Odyssey 2. Not that unexpected. Wario and especially Waluigi. Now you're talking. I don't know if I heard anything about that, but I mean, it'd be cool to get other playable characters in a 3D Mario sequel. I think they realized the appeal of that.
Right over Luigi, though. Alan, you skipped right over Luigi.
He's still hanging out with his balloons.
I know, right? But it would be cool to have multiple playable characters in an Odyssey 2. I agree.
Yeah. Disney Duncan back once again with a $2 super chat saying my birthday was on the 9th. Well, happy belated birthday to you.
Happy birthday. Yeah, happy belated, Duncan.
And Bongo Lover with $5 Canadian here to talk about another launch game, a game that launches week. Happy Infinite Wealth launch day. Ichibong, Kazugurt, and Drink You Danima are back and going to steal the show. Jokes aside, I'm happy to see Kiryu, who I know Kiryu's also a big request for Tekken, just to bring it back.
Yeah.
Yeah, he is. I love that. Every time you super chat Bongo Lover, it is an absolute delight. Thank you very much. And happy Infinite Wealth launch day.
And then Raul La Santana dos Santos, which I believe is donated 5 Brazilian real, saying, since a lot more people know Mario Kart 8 Deluxe than Mario Kart 8, do you think Nintendo will be obligated to put 12 cups instead of the usual 8 in the base of the next Mario Kart? I actually thought about that.
Mm-hmm. I hope they will feel obligated. I mean, they aren't actually obligated, but I hope they will feel as though they are. That would be nice.
A lot of time to put this many cups, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, I think people would feel a little ripped off if they don't, honestly.
I more than anything, I don't want to go back to just Mario Kart 9 or 10 or whatever the hell they call it, just launching with 4 cups, 4 tracks each. And then, half of them new, half of them retro remakes. Like, it just feels like we've gone so far beyond that now.
Yeah, with the way that they kind of structured and modeled this game now, there's a difference in value now compared to back then when you bought a game and there was like 4 or 8 cups, depending on like if they were doing the retro tracks back then. But now you have like 24 cups, and how do you match the value of that? I mean, it's DLC, of course, but still.
And granted, a lot of those are old cups. There's a few new ones in there, but it's mostly old stuff. And I don't know. I feel like I'd be okay with only 8 cups if they really went ham with the track design. And in that way, I mean, I'm going to bring it back to this again. Sonic and Sega All Stars Transformed. Those are dynamic tracks. If every course was like that in Mario, yeah, fine. Eight cups, that's fine. I'm good.
We're gonna fly this time. That's what's good. We're gonna actually control our flight. We're not just on gliders anymore. That'll be something new.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's. There is other news that came out this week that we want to talk about, and I guess one of the more interesting ones is Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown's developers have stated that they would love to work on either Mario or Zelda or Star Fox or even Castlevania, which perked my ears up with that. But yeah, it's one of those things where it seems outlandish. It's like, oh yeah, another developer would love to work on Mario and Zelda and all that. But they work at Ubisoft, and Nintendo has worked with Ubisoft on 2 separate occasions. You know, the Mario and Rabbids, and then the Star Fox portion of Starlink. It's like, you know, I'm not opposed.
I certainly wouldn't be opposed. I mean, I've only played the demo of The Lost Crown so far, but it impresses me just like I thought it would from the trailers we saw of the game in terms of just the movement is so slick. It just feels so good to move throughout the world. And look, if Konami aren't going to give us a new 2D Castlevania, this team would be really high up on my list to give us one.
Exactly. I frequent Positron saying they could do a Metroid. To be honest, you know what? We have Mercury Steam for Metroid. Give I missed what the developers' names are here, but give this developer to Castlevania. Make me happy. That's all I care about. Make me happy and have them make a new Castlevania.
God, that would be so cool. I mean, what I'm more like, that's what I think I would want. That's the most natural fit, and that's what I would want most, I think, on the face of it. But I'm interested in. I would be interested to like hear what their idea for a Star Fox team would be. Like, what kind of Star Fox game would they want to make? You know, like what?
I don't know.
You know, obviously this is I'm sure they can do more than just 2D game. They want to make a traditional on-rail shooter? Do they want to like try a 2D platformer type take on Fox and his friends? Like, I'd be curious to know what ideas they have.
Wouldn't it be something if they made like a side-scrolling bullet hell shooter for Star Fox? Like
that could be cool.
Like that would be your segments while also doing, some of the 2D platforming stuff, and then here's a shooter section. That'd be cool.
That could be really neat. Like, yeah, as a 2D bullet hell. Yeah, I agree.
Everyone in the Star Fox crew has different attributes when they're on foot. Cool. It'd be funny if like Slippy was the best one for 2D because of all of his tech. He was actually best suited for the 2D portions, but less so for the flying portions. Because you had like someone like Falco, who's a bit more of an ace about that. That'd be funny.
I feel like
he will finally shine.
I feel like you'd set up Slippy as like your shop. Like, come back, return to him at home base, and Slippy will upgrade your stuff or sell you new equipment or whatnot. And I just see them
that's
like
where Grippy comes back.
Oh yeah, you can use Grippy for that. That would be something. Or I can see them instituting some of the moves from Smash Brothers into Fox's moveset. So need to cross a long gap. He gets to do his, the cross Fox.
Illusion or Fire Fox.
Yeah, I forget what it is. Instead of a double jump, it's the Firefox to go up that way. Use a reflector to solve some puzzles, that sort of thing. And then, of course, a blaster for your normal set or whatever, some sort of a melee as well. You know what? You could make it work.
That is funny. That is true. The side B, the Phantasm is the same thing as like Samus doing the shift in Dread. That's it's funny how it kind of works together when more you think about it.
Well, and as Bolt Mouse X points out in our YouTube chat, Zelda 2 definitely needs a remake. I agree with you. I think Zelda 2 is ripe for a remake, and I sure think this team could handle it. I know Yacht Club really want to do that too. Yeah. I don't know which one I'd want more.
There's a lot of teams that really want to remake Zelda 2.
That's the main one, I think. There's a lot of potential with that because obviously it's probably like the least discussed Zelda game just because of its format and how it was made, and it's in that line with weird early Nintendo games where the second game did something very different before going back to the original formula with the third game. And that's something that I think there's a lot of potential for that, of course, because 2D side-scrolling Zelda is just outlandish to anyone that has played any game in recent memory of Zelda now. And if you made that anything somewhat near close to like a Metroidvania, but with Link instead getting the items, there's a lot of potential for that. And
There
I
is.
I can see why so many developers want to jump in on an idea like that.
It could really focus in on the sword fighting because that was sort of the core idea behind Zelda 2 to actually really refine the sword fighting. I think could actually make the combat a lot of fun.
Well,
They were
there is
just-
a.
yeah.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Daniel.
Oh no, it's just that they were just so limited in their hardware back then that there was like no
Yeah.
choice but to kind of just limit themselves in this way. But to have that freedom for sure, I want to see like what kind of gameplay they would incorporate style.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I don't know if you guys have seen it, but there is a fan remake of Zelda 2 that came out recently. It's kind of like an expanded ROM hack that it wasn't just like it was quality of life features, but it was also they built a lot more stuff into the game, like more side areas. There are pieces of heart now. There's even a brand new post game quest final boss that like expands on the lore, and it built Zelda 2 out into a proper. Not that Zelda 2 wasn't already a proper game, but it like showed the genuine potential of what a built out maximized version of Zelda 2 could be, and it was really cool. And so imagine like a studio taking that idea on, and oh man,
That'd be cool. I'd
I
be totally down for it. Speaking of smaller teams, and I should point out that it was Ubisoft Montpellier that worked on the Lost Crown, so I want to give that proper credit. But speaking of smaller teams, as I was saying, did you both realize that Freedom Planet 2 came out September of last year on PC?
yeah, I did actually.
You're one of the rare ones, I'd say, because boy howdy, this game get no discussion whatsoever when it released on PC. Like it came and went, and I feel like only the super fans really knew it actually happened. But thankfully, we finally have a release date for when Freedom Planet 2 is coming to consoles, April 4th. Hallelujah!
Yeah. So I have heard generally pretty good things about the sequel. I love Freedom Planet 1. It's one of my favorite indie games ever. And I've generally heard pretty good things about the sequel, but I've been waiting. I want to play it on my big screen TV. I've just been waiting. I could play it on Steam, but I want to wait for the proper console release. And I've generally heard good things. I'm glad it finally is coming, though. It feels like the wait's been crazy.
Yeah. I couldn't believe that it just been that long out, but yeah, I have actually no experience with Freedom Planet at all. But what about you, Daniel? Have you played even the first?
That's one of the ones I feel like I need to play still because of its inspirations, and so with the sequel coming out sooner on console, no less, that's something that I need to get on at some point. But the backlog.
I know.
Oh yeah, the backlog. There were just 3 games
Like
added to the
week.
backlog if you care about all 3. So yeah, that's rough.
If you guys can, though, like I get it, but it's such a good game, you guys.
About how
I've
long
heard.
do you think that game is on average?
I want to say a good. Well, if you watch all the story cutscenes, probably like 12 to 15 hours, because some of the story cutscenes can get really long-winded, and that's one of my few complaints about it. It gets a little bit into itself.
I heard there is an arcade mode where you just go level to level to level. So
There is. I can't remember if you have to unlock it, but I still think the story is worth experiencing. It's not that it's a bad story. It's not amazing. I think it's worth playing in the context of the story. It's just some of the cutscenes are like, I'm talking Metal Gear Solid style. Like they can be up to 20 minutes occasionally. It's pretty crazy.
wow.
Yeah, but the game itself is excellent, and I would say probably like 8 to 12 hours, especially if you're not trying to 100%. It's not like a super long play. It's just some of those cutscenes can get really long, and you could also just mash through the voice dialogue and just read it, and that'll go a little faster. You don't have to let the voice dialogue play out for every line in those longer scenes.
Yeah, that's good at least. But I'm quite curious to see if it actually makes a blip this time around. I hope so, because celebrate
so.
indies and all that. But we'll see what happens.
Mike says the cutscene list mode is available from the start in Freedom Planet 1. So there you
Okay,
go.
yeah,
Yeah.
cool. The last bit of news I thought we could talk about this week is the online functionality for 3DS and Wii U games is coming to an end on April 8th. You can merge your unused eShop balance to your Nintendo account for use on the Switch until March 11th. So basically, this was something they attempted to do, last year, the year before? I forget. They attempted to do this before, but there was enough outcry that they delayed it a bit. And I don't hear the outcry this time around, mainly because I think everybody's like, okay, we expected it this time. It is what it is.
Time has come.
Yeah, its time has come,
Yeah.
and we're already waiting for the Switch 2. So,
It just seems like a good time right now this year than the last to just bid farewell to this and its services because man, what a run.
Yeah.
for this these content, this service in general.
There's going to be some interesting stuff lost to time, like the multiplayer mode in Kid Icarus Uprising and stuff like that. Like it's going to be some of this stuff and I'm sure there'll be private servers continuing to run for quite some time. But yeah, there's going to be some really interesting platform specific stuff lost to the mists of time once these servers are shut down.
Yeah, and like Mike in the YouTube chat mentions, Wii U games are mostly fine because a good chunk of them got ported to the Switch. 3DS is a different story, and as you were mentioning, Kid Icarus, great multiplayer, and the Triforce Heroes, and a bunch of Monster Hunter games. So
Yeah, that's true. And Smash 4 online.
yeah, Smash 4. Although that one's
wild to
less
think
of,
about.
that one's less of a loss considering we have Ultimate, but I guess if you want to play Smash Run.
Well, it is and it isn't. Like in general, yes, I agree. But I actually just made a tweet about this the other day because I have a Fight a Partner session with this month on our Patreon with the Couch Kids, our sponsor, and we were going to play Smash yesterday, but they didn't realize that one of the few downgrades from Ultimate or for Ultimate is that you can't have multiple players on a local console in an arena.
Oh, I don't think I
You can
knew
do that
that.
in 4, and you can even do it in Brawl, but in battle arenas and in private or public arenas, you can only have one player per Switch. So that's actually like we couldn't do it, and I'm actually going to go do it in person next week instead. But yeah, so it's like it is generally not a loss. Yeah, but in that one way, Smash 4's online was actually a lot better.
Huh.
Weirdly enough. Yeah.
I had no idea about
It's a weird
that.
decision.
Yeah, it's weird, right? And it seems like such a weird downgrade too. Like maybe it's because the roster is so gargantuan. I'm sure there's a good technical reason for it, but yeah, it is like you can literally cannot play online in a lobby if you have a friend over or your sibling or partner or whatever. You can't play together in a lobby with other people. You have to only go one-on-one.
So odd.
Yeah. Right?
I gotta play Triforce Heroes before that is over, and then I'll never be able to play with anyone online ever again. That's the thing. I don't have my experience and my opinion with that yet. So Brandon and I are gonna find a way to play that.
Oh wow, I played multiplayer in that, and it's fine. But the thing was, my opinion was already soured because I played through the majority of that game for review single player. It's not fun single player.
That's
It is the worst
it's not
thing
meant to be.
And you can still have fun with Triforce Heroes multiplayer. I think it does shine a bit, but I was so turned off by the time I got to the multiplayer. I was like, no, I'm done. I can't do it.
Man. Well, hopefully soon I'll be able to give that one a chance and at least form an unbiased opinion because I don't have I haven't even played a multiplayer. I mean single player. I want to try it just off the gate multiplayer if I can. So
it's the way to do it. I think you'll genuinely have fun. Although I honestly don't think it's as good as Four Swords.
Yeah, Four Swords has a special place in my heart. I play times with multiple people and the whole Game Boy setup in person and other methods. But yeah, that's the peak of multiplayer Zelda for me. And I know Triforce Heroes probably doesn't touch that, it doesn't eclipse it for sure. But I still want to give it a shot because the multiplayer Zelda experience has always been pretty fun.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it definitely is. It definitely can be. But yeah, well, that's do what you got to do with your 3DS and Wii U's before April 8th. But otherwise, that is sort of the major news for this past week. And we still have our patron topics to talk about, but let's see if there's any more super chats before that happens. Disney Duncan back with $10 more across 2 different questions, saying, based on Harada's comment, will we not see guest characters until DLC Pass 2? I don't know about that. I can see them ending the DLC Pass 1 with a big guest character just to have excitement, but it does seem like they're going to be going with just characters that didn't make it into the game because we're starting with Eddie Gordo, which did seem like an odd omission.
It did, right? I'm glad he's there, but it did seem like a weird omission to start with.
Yeah. And then other comment was, Matthew can come to Tekken 8 if it comes to Switch 2. I mean, I guess it is kind of like Tekken Tag 2, where you had all those
Yeah.
Nintendo
Yeah.
costumes.
That would be so cool.
Sure.
That'd be fun to have all more Nintendo costumes or just a special Nintendo character. So why not? But yeah.
Hell yeah.
Well, as always, we got our patron topics for the week, and each of us has chosen one. And Daniel, let's start with you. What was your patron topic?
Oh boy, let me take a look real quick. Maybe we'll start with someone else real quick. 'Cause I kept forgetting to. I was doing all these other stuff, other things, and I kept forgetting to pick a specific one.
Oh, okay,
But I
no
will
worries.
pick
All right,
one just a moment.
Ash, let's go with you. Let's go with you.
All right, no worries. So I picked this one because it's topical for this week. So my topic for this week comes from Zombie Joe, who asks, "Who are some of your favorite Tekken characters, and why is Mokujin not among them?" Well, for your information, Zombie Joe, Mokujin is among them. I think Mokujin's awesome. Oh, I hear you. Mokujin's definitely among my favorites. I love Tekken's visual design in general. One of my early favorites was Xiaoyu. I believe she debuted in Tekken 3. That's my dad and I used to play a lot of Tekken 3 together, and that was my character. In that, I really like Xiaoyu a lot. I would be remiss not to mention my new favorite modern Tekken character. Obviously has to be Azucena. Like, not only do I like her visually, she's so colorful, but she is literally the coffee queen. Like, coffee is my thing. If you know me, coffee is me. I am coffee. Coffee is me, and she is the queen of coffee.
That's amazing.
What were you gonna say, Derek?
No, I feel like we have to have we have to fight it out though, because one of my favorite characters, and I don't know what attracted to me to it, as far as the gameplay style or anything like that, I like Lily. And they specifically had a matchup in their trailers where it's like, coffee's best, no, tea is best. Fight.
Right, yeah. and you're more of a tea person. You like tea. You're not.
Yeah,
You don't like
I'm not a coffee guy, so this is
Right.
kind of perfect in a weird way.
Yeah. I also really like Master Raven. I think she's got a really cool design. And also Panda. Panda's been a long time personal favorite of mine. I think she's so adorable. Panda's great. And another new character, Victor Chevalier from Tekken 8. He's cool, man. He's a cool looking character.
It's how you get
really wanna
Noctis
play
without
him.
actually having Noctis.
I know, exactly. It's too bad he's not going to come back for 8 because he was fun to play in 7. Also Julia in June. Julia and June are also two more favorites of mine. And Eddie Gordo. I mean, Eddie Gordo's like, everybody loves him though. So yeah. I feel like he almost, everybody loves him. So that's not surprising. But yeah, those are a few of my favorite Tekken characters.
Nice. Just to name a few others for me, I like Paul Phoenix. He's just a weirdo who's actually really good at fighting. I've never played him, but I love the design of Leroy Smith. Just a cool character.
Oh yeah, I forgot about him. Yeah. And Leroy's cool.
And then just because I've never played as her or anything like that, but I just look at her gameplay style, I was like, that is the fighting character I typically gravitate towards. So probably her, Asuka. Asuka Kazuma.
Oh.
So
I've always liked Asuka as well, actually. Yeah. Good point.
What about you, Daniel? Any Tekken favorites or not really?
It's funny you mentioned, because Paul Phoenix is one of the few characters that are playable in every single all 8 Tekken games, I believe, and there's only a few that fit in that pool. Yoshimitsu is another one that fits in there.
Not even Kazuya fits that bill.
That's weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Heihachi no longer fits that bill,
me.
So.
Oh no, Heihachi, the face of Tekken, one of the faces. But yeah, Yoshimitsu is one of the ones that it's weird because I first saw him in Soul Calibur, and it's weird that he's bounced on these different ones, these different games throughout these fighting game series. But that I remember playing. I never really owned a Tekken. I remember playing on the PS1 one of the Tekken games with my cousin, he was older than me. And obviously I'm not going to stand much of a chance against him in a Tekken game, but I remember I used Gon, and in that game
Tekken 3
that's the one then. Yeah, he was just so mad because he's just so small and you can't get him. It's the only chance I stood. But yeah, those are the ones that I have remembered in the past years. I haven't really dove into Tekken characters very much recently. I feel like it's going to be like a Street Fighter 6 for me, where I'm going to just dive into it and just kind of get more literate with the world and characters if I can, because there's a lot about it that I like. I love what I've been seeing, and I'm not very good at fighting games, but when it
Oh,
comes
me
to these
neither.
kinds, if they have like if you've got like a casual like way to adopt a newbie like me, then I'll gladly give it a shot and try it.
I think there is, from what I hear, there's a not an arcade mode, but basically the same sort of thing as Street Fighter 6 had, except you're going through like a tournament scene in like arcades, and it actually shows you the ropes of like, here's how you play Tekken. So it's actually good tutorial for it. So
it's good to have that in this
not a bad
modern
idea.
age.
Yeah.
There are just so many great characters in Tekken. It's just such a visually rich, diverse cast of characters. They're just so
It's
just,
hard to look at any of them and be like, nah, I don't like them. Like, I know a lot of people like hate Elisa and Lucky Chloe, but I'm like, they're fine. They seem fine.
I think Elise. I was actually forgot to mention her. I think Elisa's great. I love that her head actually comes off in her reveal trailer for Tekken 8. Like that's part of how she attacks. I think that's awesome.
Honestly, one of the characters I find the most boring is just the Jax. I don't know.
Yeah, I agree. There's someone else I was going to mention. Who was it? God, I'm drawing a blank. But yeah, Tekken character design rocks.
Yeah.
Just in general.
All right. Daniel, do you have your patron question, or should I go next?
Yeah, we have one here from Hendrix Trog asking, with Xbox looking to be the first major player in games to go all digital, who do you think will follow their lead shortly after? I feel like this discussion is definitely happening more and more lately as we kind of lean towards consoles that are leaning a bit more towards having just digital only services and platforms. And I feel like with the way we've seen things happening, if Xbox was the first one to do it, it would probably be PlayStation coming right after, because there's like, I don't know, there's a lot of they seem to be expanding more and more with their services of what they offer with like PlayStation Network, and even though you have to pay more for it, I mean they're still trying to optimize that. So they're selling.
He's actually gone like glitchy. That's not good.
Why must this keep happening?
I agree with you,
Okay,
Daniel.
you only
It
lose
feels...
your train of thought.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, it's okay. Go ahead. Now I lost my train of thought because I keep
I
dying.
I agree with what you were saying. Is that it's probably? I hope it's nobody. My personal hope is nobody. I hope.
Yeah.
I don't want I don't want physical games to die, like all in all. But I feel like if anyone is going to follow suit sooner rather than later, it would be PlayStation, not Nintendo. Personally.
Yeah, they're making they've made consoles that they give you the option. Do you want digital or do you want to still use physical discs for this? And it becomes more and more pointless because you put in the physical disc, it still has to download everything, and that's part of the reason why I try to get physical for Switch. Yeah.
It's an unfortunate side effect, but I think there's the big thing here, especially I think with PlayStation, why they might not ever do it, even though they have an all digital console, is because it feels like you lose out for those people that go to Walmart or go to Best Buy or go wherever and they're like, there's this game on the shelf. Oh, that looks pretty cool. I'm going to pick that up. Those type of sales. Like, would you want to lose that? Especially like for gifts and other people being like, how do we, like, oh, my son wants this or my grandkid wants this. I'll just go to the store. Grandma's not going to know how to go to the online store. And I don't think anybody really wants to give a gift card. Like, oh yeah, here's an eShop card, whatever.
Yeah,
that's the problem.
Yeah.
Like it's because you go on any of the storefronts like PlayStation Network, you see that in half the screen is like 30% off, buy now until February 1st or whatever, and you pay that. PlayStation doesn't need to manufacture like boxes or all that for that. You just sell the game itself. It's cheaper for them. We don't have to pay for like extra in taxes or anything because you're just buying it right off the shop. The model kind of just leans more and more towards that way. I don't want it to be digital only. I enjoy my physical cartridges and discs that I'm still getting for games that I really want to have. I'm going to be getting Persona 3 Reload physically because I want to have that with the rest of my boxes of Persona 3.
It's really nice for families where I can just get, hey, here's this one game. Oh, I'm done playing it. Oh, you want to try it too? Okay, here you go. You know, in the same family, you don't have to worry about
Here's how to share.
Yeah, exactly. And you don't have to worry about that digital, like, oh, I got to figure out how to get the account on there, and they got to download it, but we can't play it at the same time because it's under my account, and if I play right now, they can't play it, so it just disrupts everybody's playtime. So, yeah. Yeah.
It's a tricky thing to navigate right now, especially with this market. Like games are getting huge as well, so it's like storage is another problem. It's just a lot of problems that compile on each other, and it's like how are these companies going to handle doing this that's convenient to the consumer while also matching their needs? And it's just an interesting discussion to keep going as we enter potentially the next generation of whatever the Switch is going to do next, you know.
Yeah.
We'll have to see, but I feel like Nintendo will be the last holdout for a long time.
I think so too. I don't see them going all digital anytime soon.
I think they like having that.
And hopefully never.
Control. Yeah, exactly. Hopefully.
Yeah.
Hopefully. All right. So my topic this week comes from Young Ben Kenobi, who asks, what mobile exclusive game or games would you like to see get a proper console port or remake? And I was gravitating towards that one just because I just randomly thought about it the other day. We need Fantasian on consoles.
Oh, good one. Fantasian's a really good one.
Like,
yeah.
Mistwalker has this seemingly beautiful game with some really interesting, like, model work to use as the backgrounds, and I don't know anything about the story or anything like that. You didn't hear much because nobody talks about Apple Arcade games. So yeah, let's get that. Let's get Fantasian.
That's a really good one. This one's tricky for me because a lot of the ones I would have said kind of already have been, like the Final Fantasy Pixel Remaster series, and there's one of my favorite rhythm games. It's called Groove Coaster, and there's a Switch version now, so that's already been done. So I guess my default answer is Mega Man X Dive, but it's not like it's that amazing a game.
I mean, it
so
is on Steam as a pay version.
Yeah, but I want to play it on, again, I don't really want to play it on Steam. I'd rather play it on the big screen. I know I can get a Steam Deck, but I'm not paying $500-$400 to play Mega Man X Dive on the big screen. I'm just not doing it. I guess my more interesting deep cut answer, if not Mega Man X Dive, would be Adventures of Mana, which actually did come out on PlayStation Vita. It's basically like a 3D remake of the original Seiken Densetsu 1, like Secret of Mana 1, aka Final Fantasy Adventure. But it only ever came out on Android, iOS, and Vita. And it's actually a pretty good 3D remake of the first Mana game that I would like to be able to play on consoles, like on Switch.
Yeah.
At least. So
cool.
That's probably like my more interesting deep cut answer.
You actually just reminded me of others, but I'm going to let Daniel go first. So what about you, Daniel?
I feel like a lot of the more recent ones that we've seen as of late, like you're mentioning those already, but like Final Fantasy VII Ever Crisis is something that, why is that only mobile?
Oh,
like,
that's
why do they have to,
one? Yeah.
Why do they have to do this model? Just get gotcha
I forget
elements.
Ever Crisis. That's such a good one. Yeah.
That's just sitting there. You got like Sonic Dream Team that's in the Apple Arcade, and it's just like, man, it looks so cool, and I don't get to play. I don't have Apple Arcade, so it feels like it's just really limited the people that can play it. Dragalia Lost, man, that's been gone for so long. I didn't even get a chance to really properly play as much as I wanted to, but when it's gone, it's just like I really wanted to like.
Now it's all Grand Blue Fantasy. Imagine we could have been getting Dragalia Lost fighting games and Dragalia Lost Relink and all that.
Yeah.
Oh my god. There's so many, man. Like the whatever they had for Kingdom Hearts mobile games, like those were I dabbled with those for a little while, and apparently they became canon to the universe, so that's its own thing to deal with. Yeah, something like those are the ones I really want to like see come to any kind of modern console, any kind of port over, because you can do it with games like Mega Man. Why not with games like these ones? They're definitely possible.
Yeah.
Definitely possible.
Yeah. So Ash reminded me with his Adventures of Mana. Oh yeah, be really nice to get Dragon Quest 4 through 6 on the Switch.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
guess what? The mobile versions, at least especially for Dragon Quest 4, is the best version of Dragon Quest 4, because the DS version, great, does fine, does it all does the job. but it doesn't have the party talk feature, which is how you get any kind of characterization for your characters in that game. There is, on the DS version, they are basically planks of wood, but you get the party talk. They actually, because they didn't bother translating it, but they did in Dragon Quest IV on mobile. Release that. We need a port of Dragon Quest IV at the very least, just for that. Have a proper version. So.
That's a good one. I didn't even think about that. That's perfect. God, there are more games than I like. When I first saw this topic, I'm like, I don't know if there are that many anymore that I want. And then now, after all of our answers to this, I'm like, oh yeah, there are more
There's
mobile
some
to
decent ones out there that
would
would be nice to have it. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot of Tales games we could put in there too. Just saying, there's a lot of Tales mobile games that a lot of them
there
aren't in
is.
service anymore.
Yeah, there is. But thank you all for the topics. Really do appreciate that. And I think other than a, let's see, $2 super chat from Disney Duncan, we're going to wrap this thing up here, saying that Alyssa has a costume based on Cosmos, I think. That'd be cool if true. I don't know. I don't know about that
I
one.
think I remember hearing that. I think that's true. Yeah.
Sounds about
I believe
right.
so.
Yeah.
Yeah. So perhaps, but we'll see. But yeah, I think that'll about cover it for episode 90 of the GVG cast. Thank you all so much for being here. Really do appreciate it. And hopefully you all had fun with this episode and our various conversations. But of course, we got to give a special thank you to all of our patrons at the producer tier. The show just wouldn't be possible without all of you. Thank you so much for that. And just it's always appreciated. In fact, I should actually get that rolling here. So yeah, there's our wonderful producers. Thank them. We wouldn't be able to do this without them. So thank you so much. And of course, we got to give an extra special thank you to our executive producers, which include Brandon Bovia, Cutie Caitlin, Fangs, Z Patty, Sky Blue Flames, Eastman23, Adam O'Sullivan, Richard Herrera, Logan Daniel, The D-Pad, Blake, Joy Content, Angel Martinez, Vedron, Joshua Hunter, Benny Yao, Azran127, Black King, Joseph Rutkin, Geeky Griffin, Lucky Wonderfish, Wataniac, Top Dog 23100, Young Ben Kenobi, The Couch Kids, Andrew Medeiros, Darchi, Becca, Icaro, Dark B Andy, Essex08, Michael McCall, Matthew Wong, Goron Amber CPHT, Too Much Spaghetti, Bane 400, Ascaron 809, Rioner, Rain and Clouds, The Game Orb, Super Gamer Dude 101, Mercury, Ravelox, Rosa Pardo Bowling. Hi, Steve's mom. Darksteel. Excuse me. Darksteel 01, Jason Uloa, Jaden Buck, Cystic Warrior 29, DJ Jurassic, Super Dank Awesome Unicorn Guy, Derek, Colin, Blaystar 25, Twilord, Mumbling Yeti, Cameron Sharp, Keel, Brendan Hesse, Hustlebun, Noah Fitterer, Calvin Atkinson, Brainchild, the entire state of Wisconsin, Jim Wakelin, Zlaker, Aramis Baramis, Kyle the Monarch, Dat Alpha Lion, Lord Metarex, Blaze Collard, Eric, Cat Evie Person 5, Peyton Thiel, Mega Beatman, True Blue Reviews, Ryan Hanley, The Game Jamie, and Zombie Joe. Thank you all so much for your continued support. It really does mean a lot. And we did get one more super chat from Disney Duncan saying Deadpool 3 film wrapped up filming, cannot wait. Fair enough.
Nice.
Hopefully it'll be a good movie. And thank you all so much for being here. Of course, we will be back next week for even more GVG cast, so you can look forward to that. Just hope you have a great weekend and see you next time. Till then, everyone. Bye.
So we meet again.